morning, how are you?
Good morning, I'm well. Good to see you back.
It's good to see you too. This is our second day of making a chair together. So I'm very excited that we get to share this with you guys and that I get to experience this. What are we building?
Alec is making this chair, a copy of this chair, which I made about 20 years ago with John Alexander in Baltimore.
That is correct. As you saw in the last episode, we got legs made, steam bent, we got rungs made. These have been drying inside the house, and over just a day and a half, this whole bundle has lost half a pound of moisture. This episode is sponsored by NordVPN. Start protecting your data by getting a whopping discount off a 2-year plan at nordvpn.com/forge, and you'll get an extra month for free using code FORGE at checkout. Back to the video. So the next steps, as I understand it today, are to make the front legs.
Yeah,
front post.
Yeah,
front
the legs will do. Yeah.
I feel like we're just switching back and forth between terminology.
Post.
One, then it's rungs, then it's rails.
Yes.
Then it's legs, then it's posts.
Both will do, but let's call these posts.
So next up is making these front legs. We've got ourselves this chunky bit of wood, and we shall start splitting. So the tool I'm using, if you're not familiar with it, it's called a draw knife, and it is unbelievably satisfying to use, making these big, long, flowing chips. And what I'm trying to do as I make this is I'm trying to use some of the kind of knowledge and experience that I've built up in metalwork. I'm trying to transfer it over to the woodworking right here to make life easier. We've got to take something so rough and chunky like this and make it into something that is straight and round and of consistent diameter. And that's actually quite a difficult thing to do, because my instinct would be to just kind of rough it down and then start making it round and keep reducing it while it was round. But having learned how to machine things to a square shape and a straight shape, I can transfer that knowledge onto here. And so what I'm trying to focus on doing is making one flat plane. Then I'm going to make another flat plane that is 90 degrees to it. And then from there, we can build out a nice square section of about the correct diameter, make it into an octagon. Again, that's just like blacksmithing and forging material. And then from there, I'll then be able to make it into a round and then use a spoke shave. Now, I know this isn't reinventing the wheel for any green woodworkers out there, but it is exciting to me to be able to have skills in one discipline, to be able to transfer them over to another and just get a slight little bit of a head start based on the experience in a completely kind of different area. Now taking it to octagon. So I've got it roughed in, about 16 sides. Next up is this little spoke shave here. How long have you owned this thing?
Oh, 20 years.
Probably had some use put into it. This is a lovely little half-round spoke shave. Just like a wood plane, it's got this little blade in there. Pushes down, takes some beautiful, small little shavings. That'll just help me get that final round cross-section. How adorable is this tool? Just makes the most beautiful shavings. Leaves a lovely surface finish too. Rather not bad for having not made a chair leg in a while. Let's see what the old man himself thinks.
You've got the right dimension there. Very good.
Thank you.
Now do the other one.
You don't want to do it?
I'm busy.
No, I'm having fun. I've made my front legs.
You have, and they're very nice, and they are to the same dimension as the back legs.
Very good.
So that's
Thank
absolutely
you.
fine. They're about 1.25 inches in diameter. Now, Alec, you need to make the back slats. These are 3 I made for my chair the other day.
So this is quite thin bit of wood.
Yes.
And we're going to cleave this and draw knife it down.
Yes, but this is...
It's about 1/8 of an inch thick. So I'm not going to be cutting the final kind of form this way at this stage though.
No.
So I'm just going to make 2 big old rectangles.
Then we steam them.
Then we steam bend them.
And then we put them in the former.
Okay.
And when they're dry on Friday...
That's when we get the final shape.
them.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
Superb. Let's cleave some more wood. How long do we need our back slats?
Oh, I've forgotten.
It was 18 inches. I was trying to set it up for the camera. Oh well. I'm kind of wondering if maybe we split it while it's longer without cutting it down. In case there's a better or worse end, we can then shuffle it 4 inches across. Because this is 22 inches, final length 18 inches.
Marginal thing. Yeah.
So that's kind of the thing that I'm leaning on. We have a problem. How are we going to open this up? What if you stand on it and then I... There we go. Tip you over. This is ridiculous. Okay. Put a car on it. That's a good idea. That's actually a pretty good idea. Go for it. It works. It's working. It's doing it. It sent the split way further. Now maybe we'll do this. Go for it. Good. That'll do. Thank you, Jamie. Look at this. This is the one. This is the most daring split of the entire project. It is splitting quite nicely.
Really good.
Straight down the middle.
Good. Okay, but keep, well, just keep it.
Okay, now it's starting to run off. You're gonna rip it. Don't rip my slat. No, you've broken it. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna do it.
Okay. That was quite the ordeal. So we're going to trim the outer dimensions all the way down before we start thinning, because you have advised me it would be silly to be thinning off all of the extra material that's not actually going to be on the slat. So.
Absolutely.
Let's try this draw knife out. I sharpened it up for my father the other day. The downside to this is that handles don't have that downwards angle, so you kind of got to artificially lift up your wrist. It's wider though, which might be helpful. Maybe. Oh, I don't know. Nope. How about this draw knife? This is a pretty cool old one. I can tell it's old because I can see that it has a wrought iron body and it has a welded in steel edge. So that's pretty freaking neat. This is a hand-forged draw knife from back in the day. I think I can use the blue-handled one. There we go. This is the best one there is. All right, so I've been working on both slats. One of them is pretty well thinned down. It's actually quite tricky. And what I think I did is I made an error in the way that I made this, in that I was thinning it down and working both sides little bit by little bit, but now it's very flexible. And it made me think perhaps a better way to do it is completely finish one side, then flip it over, and then I'm only dealing with having to thin down a very flexible side once, as opposed to dealing with flattening down 2 flexible sides as I did on here.
Why couldn't you not just have a piece of ply or something underneath it, on top of it, and clamp them both?
Because that would be very smart.
The piece over there.
Can I do it? What a bloody good idea. Goodness gracious. Golly, I feel really stupid. Okay, so the growing consensus here in my father's workshop from my father and Jamie is that I've made these way too thin. I'm currently using the draw knife as a little bit of a scraper to clean it up and make sure that it's nice and smooth. That is quite thin and flexible. Anyway, it's now time for us to put them in the steamer, correct?
So that's the... Right.
We wait about 5 seconds because I made them as thin as shim stock. What do we do now? Marking up the posts for the holes, for the rungs that we made. Well, it's now been a day and a half, 36 hours, so we can actually take our legs out. We steam bent these in the last episode, and dare I say, they are just about perfect. We'll get the holes marked up in these as well. Right, let's go get the bits of wood. He's doing it. He's doing it. Oh, no! Oh, you dropped it on the bloody ground!
Up, front.
Middle.
Middle.
That's a middle. Go, squeeze!
Now, I think that's enough of a curve.
Okay, that looks, it looks fantastic. It looks beautiful.
Okay, we just leave that.
Okay,
Right.
Good. It's the next morning, and we're now gonna mark up the rear legs before we drill some holes. Hole drilling time. We got half our holes done. Thank you so much for your help.
Well done, Alec. Thank you.
Let's thank our sponsor. This episode was sponsored by NordVPN.com, and using my lovely assistants, I'll show you a little bit about how it works. When you're browsing the internet, you exchange data back and forth between you and the websites you access. Well, right now, I'd quite like to access yogo.com. Oh no! There's a dreadful hacker! Oh no! Oh no! Look what the hacker's doing to my data! It'd be a terrible day if your data was compromised like this. But now, with military-grade NordVPN encryption, Crazy will be none the wiser. And now the true recipient of my data has safely received it. You're not only less vulnerable to hackers with NordVPN, you can also experience increased freedom on the internet. Using their handy-dandy app for Mac, iOS, Android, and PC, you can select from over 5,000 servers all over the world, which means the websites you browse think you're browsing from somewhere you're not. This is especially useful if you want to access content that's locked in your country but accessible somewhere else. It's risk-free as they've got a 30-day money-back guarantee, and so please give it a try by getting a whopping discount off a 2-year plan at nordvpn.com/forge. And when you use code FORGE at checkout, you'll get an extra month for free. Thank you. Bye-bye.